Welcome at Surf Center. Today we are here with Jordy Vonk, and Jordy Vonk is going to tell you all about the new 2023 Warp. Jordy, this is the fin sail. Can you tell me something about this?
Yeah, the Duotone Warp, our fin racing machine. To tell something about the concept, it's actually a concept we've been working on for quite some years. And the concept basically came alive, let's say, in the Warp 2021. That's when we really went for a more high aspect ratio sail, which means a longer mast and a shorter boom, creating a more neutral feeling in the sail, which also benefits a lot, I would say, the recreational windsurfers, as it's simply less physical to ride.
Okay, you mentioned the recreational windsurfers. For who is this sail meant?
I mean, first of all, of course, when I'm part of the development, when we develop this, it has to be the fastest sail out there, right? You know, it has to have a good acceleration. It has to be as fast as it can get. But of course, in the meantime, it needs to have control. You know, both for me on the race course or in tricky conditions, because that's when you also have to race the sail. And in the meantime, also when the consumers are using the sail, it has to be, let's say, a friendly sail for the customers, because in the end, if it would be too physical, you know, I would get tired in the races, but it would also not be fun for the normal people to ride. So, so I think those things are benefiting both riders who have to win races and let's say the normal people who want to beat all their friends on the local lakes or have the GPS on and break records on their GPS.
Okay, I do not really know a lot of trimming. Can you tell me how should I set up this sail perfectly?
Yeah, I think it's really a goal from Duotone to make it as easy as possible to make the sail go fast. Okay. How do we try to achieve this? First of all, there is a downhole dot in the top of the sail.
Yeah.
If you
mean this one, right?
That one, yes.
Yeah.
So the moment you put downhole here and you put the downhole towards that dot, you are very close to perfection. Okay. You know, of to make the sail as efficient as possible. I personally like to go 1, maybe 2 clicks on the Power XT over, and some others like to be on the dot, you know, but it's a very good reference. If you rig it for the first time with the downhole to the dot, you are ready to go and hit the water. Beside that, the battens, they all come pre-tensioned from the factory.
Okay.
The moment the prototype is finished, we are measuring with a special tool all the values of each batten.
Okay.
We know that the sail stretches in the first 2-3 times of sailing, so we know the differences. So we know exactly what kind of tension we have to put from the factory to make sure that you actually never have to touch them. So that's very easy as well.
I do not have to change it even after 10 times of sailing.
I don't. So that means that no one normally has to. You know, maybe after a year of sailing, yes, but in general, I would not touch the buttons. I think it's really comes well out of the factory. So that's very easy. Another tool is here we have another dot to show where you need to put the harness lines. Because if you're using one boom for different sail sizes, yes, you don't want to go out and figure out in the first reaches like, ah shit, my harness lines are wrong, I have to change it. No, you can rig your sail, check if the harness lines are matching the dot here in the middle, and if they are, you know, your balance is right, so you're ready to hit the water.
And what do these numbers here mean?
It's actually the distance, I think, to the boom.
Okay.
So you can even take a measurement tool and measure instead of just by watching like this. And then there's 3 values: one of the right harness line, one of the left harness line, and one is the middle. Okay. So then even with a measurement tool, you can make it very accurate. Okay. And the last thing I would say are the cameras. As you can maybe see, maybe on the camera too, but we have cameras which you can adjust with a tool. With this Allen key tool, you can add or take away power from the cameras. The camber pressure is making a huge difference on the performance of the sail. When you have a lot, the sail will feel very stable, but will not rotate at all. Okay. When you have very little, your acceleration will be really good, your camber rotation will be really good, but you will miss out on stability. So with the camber tuning, made so easy, you can really personalize your sail without having to rig and de-rig your sail all the time. Because other brands are usually using spacers, something we were using before as well. But to change it, you need to completely de-rig, put the spacer on the camber, rig it again, and this way you can really just adjust
okay, so you could even like stand in the water and adjust it?
Even on the water if you want. I usually do it on the beach, but even on the water you can adjust the tension. And usually the tension they come with is pretty neutral, I would say, pretty good already. But when yourself as a lighter person is using the sail, I would suggest a little bit less tension, while a heavier guy can use a little bit more tension.
So you would recommend, when it's coming from the factory, just use the basic?
Just go out, have some fun, let the sail stretch, and when you go down to the real fine tuning and you feel like, hey, the rotation is not perfect, and you see which camber is not rotating perfect, you can go to that camber, release a bit of tension, or the other way around, when you're like, wow, the rotation is almost too smooth, you know, and I need a little bit more body in the sail, you can add some tension.
Okay, well, thank you guys for seeing this video. If you have any questions or recommendations, leave it in the comments. Thank you, Jordy, for being here, and see you next time.